Okay, so today we're going to attach a tractor to a 3-point linkage implement with a PTO. To make it safer, what we're going to do is measure between this point here, where the left arm goes on and the right arm goes on, and we're going to set the tractor to that weight before we back into it. That will stop the need for anyone to stand between the implement and the tractor, moving the arms when we're picking it up for safety. Okay, so we're just going to measure from the center here to the center over here, and we have 34.5 to the center. For the tractor to attach it to the implement with the PTO, the first thing is the lift arm ball. So this is a category 2 lift arm ball, distinguished by the diameter of it here on the outside and the size of pin it goes through. Okay, the type of lift arms that are on modern tractors are quick attach. Okay, so you put the ball onto the implement and there's a latch system here, so you pull the latch up, okay, and it holds itself in position. When you back into the implement in and lift up the arms, the ball sits down in, and then you physically release the latch, and that's what holds the ball inside. So it's very important that you don't forget to latch these in when you attach the implement, especially with these quick attach arms. Okay, so the next thing then after that is the arms should be center in the tractor. Okay, you should have the same distance from here to the tire at this side. Okay, and the same distance from here to the tire at this side. Okay, we measured the implement inside, it was 34.5, so we can just measure here to check that it's 34.5. So the width our arms are set at is 34.5 for the implement that we're putting on, and that the arms are center between each wheel. The other thing then is, if we need to have the implement level behind the tractor, what we need to adjust is these drop arms here. So to check these, all you do is you measure from the bottom to the top. So we have 850 there to the top of the pin, and then we'll just correspond and go over to the other side and we'll measure the other side. Okay, and we have 850 here at this side as well. So that will make sure that when the implement is on the back of the tractor, that it's level. Okay, that it's not tilting to the left or tilting to the right. The next thing then is the top link. So on this tractor, it's a quick attach top link. Okay, so you can actually fit this ball to the implement if you want. So to release it, you pull on this latch here, which pulls this pin out, and the ball will come out. So you can put this ball on the implement and then drop the top link down into position, and it will lock in. Okay, so it's a quick attach top link. Depending on the implement you're putting on and depending on the tractor, there can be different mounting holes on the back of the tractor. So depending what will suit, you can use a different hole here on the back of the tractor. When it comes to the PTO then, the most common type PTO is a 6-spline PTO. Okay, it's commonly used for 540 RPM driven implements. Okay, like fertilizer spreaders, toppers. This is the most common type that's used. There is another type that you can see, it's a 21 spline. So this only has 6 splines. The 21 spline PTO shaft is for 1000 RPM. That's when you will be driving an implement at 1000 revs per minute. Adjusting the stabilizers here at each side, left and at the right, that allows you to move the arms in or out. Okay, if we need to adjust the level of the machine, if it's not level behind the tractor, we can slide these up, and when you adjust this threaded bar here, it will drop the arm down, or if you turn it the opposite direction, it will lift the arm up to level the implement behind the tractor. Okay, so inside in the tractor, so when we need to operate the lift, this quatrain here operates the lift. So in this position here, the lift arms are all the way down, and if we were to slide it up, every little bit we slide it, the lift arms will come up in the same relationship. So if I move this all the way up to the top, the lift arms will come all the way up to the top. If I drop it halfway down, the lift arms will stop halfway down automatically. So this is what controls your lift up and down. When we move on into the PTO operations, to turn the PTO on, you push down and you push forward on this. That engages the PTO. Okay, if we need to turn it off, all we do is pull it back. The other thing with the PTO then is we have different speeds. Okay, so down here we have a manual lever. So at the moment it's in 540 economy. That would be suitable for using a fertilizer spreader because it takes low torque. Okay, if an implement doesn't take a lot of power to drive it, 540 economy can be used. If it takes a lot of power to drive it, 540, you can move this lever out, pull it up, and then we have 540 standard. Okay, so if you were using a dung spreader or something that would take a lot of power, you'd use 540 standard. And if you have an implement in that would need 1000 PTO, that means the PTO will be turning at 1000 RPM. You can physically move it up and it will change the gearbox inside then again. It will change the gears inside in the back of the tractor so that the shaft sticking out of the back of the tractor will run at 1000 RPM. Now we're going to fit the lift arm balls onto the implement we're going to put on. So we remove the pin, slide the lift arm ball in, put the pin across and put our clip on. Okay, and we'll do the same to the other side. Okay, so it's very important that you use the correct clip. So you can see this clip is a big clip and there's a big hole in the pin. Up here on the top, okay, there's a small little pin for a small hole. If I was to put this clip down here, that has a risk of breaking and the pin coming out and the implement coming off. So it's important that you use the correct size pin. The next thing then is the PTO shaft. Before we attach the machine, we're just going to examine the PTO shaft. So we're going to examine that the cover is in good order, okay, that it's covering the shaft completely. This is a water shield PTO cover. We're going to make sure that there's no binding, that it operates freely, okay, so that it slides in and out freely. Okay. There is 2 grease points on the cover here. So there's 2 little plastic pips on the cover here, so they should be greased. 2 shots of grease every week if you're using the machine a lot. And that's to grease the bearing for the plastic cover. Also, you check that the chains for holding the cover are in good order and they're attached, so the cover will not spin with the PTO shaft. On the front of it then, okay, so on your hardy splicers here, there's a grease nipple on each end of the shaft that should be greased. Shouldn't be over greased. If you push the seals out here, you shouldn't fill it with grease so it pushes the seals out. 1 or 2 shots of grease is enough to maintain it. When you're fitting the PTO to the tractor, this clip here, there's a special clip that holds this yoke onto the shaft at the back of the tractor, so it needs to be pushed in first and then slid forward, and then it'll click in. It should click out, and you make sure that that little tab clicks out, otherwise the PTO shaft can slide off after when it's working. The centre part of the drive shaft then, the centre part of the drive shaft, it slides in and out. I have an example here. So where it slides in and out, there should be grease put in here to the inside of it as well to make sure that it slides in and out smoothly and to stop it of wearing. we backed in and we picked up the implement, the tractor is turned off, the handbrake is up, or it's in park. There's no one up in the tractor that can actually move anything. So we're going to lock in our two quick attach latches. Okay, so that's that done. Then we need to fit our PTO shaft. Okay, so we need to remove it here. It's just tied up, just to keep it tidy. Okay, and some implements, it's very easy to turn the PTO shaft to line it up. If it's an implement that you can turn the PTO shaft, what you can do is put the 540 economy, 540 and 1000 RPM gear range into neutral, or in between two gears inside. That will allow your PTO to turn here. Okay, so all we do is press in the button. Okay, press in the button, slide forward. We need to turn it around now till we line the splines up. There, the splines have lined up. Push it all the way in. You'll hear the click now. Okay, so now our PTO is properly connected, and we need to attach the chain now. Okay. Okay, so our chain is attached. The design of the chain, I couldn't fit it up through the hole there, so I anchored it here to the stabilizer or the pickup hitch, which is perfectly fine. That will stop the plastic cover from turning. The next thing then is the top link. So our top link is latched up here, so we can release it, it will come down. Okay, and if I'm a little bit far away and I'm on my own, all I need to do is I can thread it out and I can readjust it after. Okay, so all we need to do then is remove the pin. Refit our pin, and we can readjust this back when we're working in the field with the machine, or when we're setting it. We can readjust our top link then and make sure that it locks in properly. Okay, so that's